Mr. Murali-Pillai.
Question 5, please.
Thank you, sir. There are now 12 persons serving sentences for offences under Section 409 of the Penal Code. They were convicted, sentenced before the High Court reviewed and changed the interpretation of the law regarding Section 409, and the public prosecutor does not intend to file any applications in respect of that. Thanks.
Mr. Pillai.
I thank the Honourable Minister for his answer. I have 2 supplementary questions. First, is the approach taken in this 12 cases different from the approach taken in the well-known case issued in September 2015, when the prosecution actually appealed on the basis that a sentence was manifestly excessive? And the reason for the prosecution for doing so is explained as that it is a stakeholder in the criminal justice system, and it must also do its part to ensure a fair and proportionate sentence. Number 2, may I ask whether the home detention scheme and the remission scheme will be afforded to the persons involved in this Court of Appeal decision, as well as the 12 cases that the Honourable Minister mentioned? And if so, would the Court of Appeal decision be a factor for the executive to consider in making an appropriate determination in these schemes?
The first question is by reference to air ocean. Which case are you referring to?
May I clarify? It's not an air ocean case. The air ocean case dealt with an acquittal issue. It's actually a case which was published. I have here an article from the Channel News Asia published on the
public prosecutor appealed.
Sorry?
You're referring to the case where the public prosecutor appealed.
That's so, sir.
Right, okay. By reference to that case, or by reference to air ocean case, whichever, the position here is slightly different. You know, Section 409 covers a broad range. Professional agents or agents is only one category. It covers public servants. It covers various others. So, for example, if you look at these 12, 3 of them are public servants. So it's very different. They were convicted qua public servants. 3, they hold very different positions, senior to junior, and there is no intention of doing anything about them. And the High Court and Court of Appeals interpretations do not affect them. 1 is an attorney, and another 8 are agents of various kinds, like insurance agents, real estate agents. So you can see that the principles applied in the context of air ocean for revision, as well as for appeal in the other case, do not apply. Right? If I may go further, we have talked about 16 cases at least where directors, co-directors have been convicted in the past 40 years. There have been more than that, but 16 reported cases. What would hypothetically be the position if more of them would be serving sentences now? I think that can be looked at. You can argue it either way. But if you look at, for example, the last case on revision, in Air Ocean, 1 director pleaded guilty. It was a conviction under the SFA. It was a prosecution under the SFA. The others claimed trial. At trial, eventually they were held to be not guilty because of the fact that was said to not have been put out was held by the court to be not material. So you can imagine, therefore, on the very same facts, the earlier conviction, in all fairness, ought not to stand. Here, people would have been convicted, if any directors are serving qua-directors, they would have been convicted properly on the facts and on the law as had been applied by the courts. Whether subsequently a change in law should therefore apply to anyone who is currently serving, or any of the several cases which had been dealt with over 40 years, there is, as Mr. Pillai would appreciate, a lot of learning on that. Yeah. Now, your second question was on home detention. I think you're asking by reference to these 12 cases or the city harvest cases? City harvest. Okay. On the 12, I will need to go and check. I think some may already be serving under home detention because there are some principles which are laid out under the rules. As for City Harvest case, we looked at the principles that are applicable, and we took advice from AGC as to whether they, under law, they would be entitled to community-based programs, which will include home detention. And we have now a policy, and if that policy is applied by Commissioner of Prisons, that those convicted in the City Harvest case will not qualify for home detention. It is something to be decided by the Commissioner of Prisons. He has got the discretion. But if the policy is applied, and that policy has been cleared with AGC, then they will not qualify. Thank you.